Let's just take a couple deep breaths. Center ourselves as we breathe in. Take it down to your pelvic area and hold it. Exhaling all the cares and worries from the day. Breathing in divine light of good down into your pelvic. Holding it, letting it circle, and blowing it out. Next, we're going to bring it in, take it down. But as we bring it up, we're going to take it into our heart and let it circulate out. And we're going to start with saying who we are, how many people we're bringing into the circle, any items, any situations, and a word that you want to bring into the circle. And then we will set space and we will do it popcorn style. So whoever would like to start.
I'll go first. I'm Tara. I'm in Anthem, Arizona. I would like to bring in 22 people, 4 four-leggeds, 3 situations personal, and 5 world situations. And my word today is loving warmth. I guess it's 2 words. Thank you.
Okay, I'll go. Hello from the Netherlands. I bring in 12 people and 3 personal situations and many world situations, global situations. And my word is curiosity. And I go to Sue. Oh, sorry, I didn't have to choose, but I did.
I'm Sue. Thank you. Angelique, I'm in Smoky Point, Washington, bringing in 25 people, 1 personal issue, 1 global issue, and a word. Transcending.
I'll go next. Cinda here in my brand new car. Woohoo! And anyway, I just really wanted to do what I could to be part of this meeting because I've missed a lot lately. I am currently in Westland, Oregon, just south of Portland. And I would like to bring in specifically 2 people and their personal situation. And the word I would like to bring in, the 2 words, is compromise and gratitude. Thank you.
I'll now go next. Sharon Raji here on Whidbey Island, and I'm going to bring in 24 people, 2 specific situations in my life, 8 world situations focusing intensely on Iran. And my word is universal law.
Me. And I am Aydrey, and I am in Wyoming, Pennsylvania. And I would like to bring in 50 people. And 5 situations. And the children of the world. And the word I would like to bring in is actually 2 words: dedicated practice. So as we are in the sacred space, we call in the Guardian Circle protocol, knowing that we are held in divine love, unity, healing, calling in the hazmat absorptions team and suits. We call in the Hitchhiker Shield, Red Rock Vortex, Under the Sky, Golden Song, and the Guardian Circles, knowing that the PTO and GCC will keep us in safety and sovereignty, and our teams are with us in highest light and love and integrity. And we call in the frequencies of the colors of red, orange, and yellow, and green, and blue, indigo, violet, white, gold, and fuchsia to be with us. We call in all energies of good who want to be with us in the sacred circle. We know that the 125 people, the 4 four-leggeds, the 15 personal situations, the 14 global situations, and the multiple global situations, and the focusing intently on Iran, and the children of the world will be held and transformed and transmuted in the highest and best way. Space is set. And we are ready. And the words that we are bringing into this circle today are loving warmth, curiosity, transcending, compromising gratitude, universal law, and dedicated practice. And as the space is set, we can open to sharing before we start our journey. And we can do that popcorn style if anybody would like to share anything before we begin. Okay, we'll just start. As we are sitting in this space, surrounded in illumination of divine feminine, of all who have gone before us and all who come after us, we know that our path is strong, our resilience intact, and we call upon those frequencies to speak to us today, to show us what we need to see, what we need to create, what is guided to be created, what can be woven and what could be unwoven and set aside. We know that the guidance is clear as we journey. We know that the answers that we seek where the visions will come to us easily and effortlessly in beauty. Take this time, and I will call you back in 10 minutes. When you're ready. Just wait a moment. Would anybody like to open with what, share anything that came up?
I will. So, what I got while you were talking, it didn't even wait for the meditation to start. We have entered a new yet old method of healing based on shared responsibilities. Somehow, the shared responsibilities is all new. So if you go back further, there was a shaman. The shaman figured out this potion you take, you drink the potion, you get well, you do nothing else. You come back and say, I have an infection. The shaman gives you a potion, you drink the potion, you get well, you don't do anything else. So today, it's a shared responsibility. As we work together for healing ourselves, we weave a new higher collective consciousness that brings not just healing, but transformation. And Aydrey, you're doing it right now. Man, did that come in strong. And this morning, in the wee hours, I had this new amazing awareness that I have said and heard said, I am a spiritual being having a human experience. And what I got this morning was, I am a spiritual being in human form, having a spiritual experience. My journey is from my mind to my heart and soul. And it's a spiritual journey to mastership of my emotions and my mind. And this statement, when I said, I am a spiritual being in human form, having a spiritual experience, that means my whole life, or from here on, this statement opened, it sort of exploded with new possibilities, understanding, and all new awarenesses from a more expanded reality. And this again is, I see very clearly the human consciousness is 500 and below frequency, it's low. It's based on fear and anger. And the ego trying to solve based on yesterday and tomorrow. And the new reality is in the moment, from the heart. So it's living a life of grace, a language of love, and a body filled and radiating out light. Then I went to sleep and woke up the human again. It's so disappointing. It's like I need to anchor it in, but it doesn't happen. It's not like that. It's like I keep getting this expanded view, expanded understanding, expanded reality until at some point there will be a shift, and then it'll be more in the spiritual world and far, far less in the human world. And I'm really looking forward to that. Thank you.
So would you read the statement that you got before? You are a spiritual being and what was the difference? How was that a little different?
I'm a spiritual being in a human body. That's the only human part of me is my body, and it's the form. It's not. When the spiritual consciousness, it becomes love and light. The body transforms to love and light. So I'm a spiritual being in a human form, having a spiritual experience.
Thanks.
I'll go really quick because mine was pretty fast. And it's the good. Just and that is that I'm when I went on my journey, it was like, you don't have to do anything, just be. So I just, expanded into my car, expanded outside of me, and it was like, you're still doing. It's like, you're still doing. And I'm like, okay. Shake it off. What am I, and then I just be. And it was really, I get that. I get what that means, but it was also really hard for me to not, I was trying to do being, kind of didn't work. I was trying to do being. It was funny. I just kept having this little swinging pendulum fight with whatever voice that was in my head. Anyway, so thank you, Aydrey. This is beautiful.
I'll share. So I was greeted by these water drops, colored water drops, and do re mi fa sol la ti do. And then it turned into a rainbow. And then I was bouncing on this rainbow, but it wasn't like a full rainbow. And then they took me through these lands, and it was like the ice. And it's like, okay, you're done there. You're done with the ice. And it was a field of all blue flowers. And I figured they were working on my throat and my voice for clarity. And then I was someplace else, but they said, don't braid the colors together anymore. Spiral them. And I saw a vortex, and all the colors were in this vortex spiraling together, and it would come down and it would bounce and it would bounce back up. And every time it would go up, it would go up higher. And every time it would go down, it wouldn't go down as low, and it would just bounce and just keep on going up. So it was all the colors, and they went, and then they go down and up and down and up. And just the feeling was just total peace and calm. And I am complete.
Okay. When I started, the first thing which came was I just am having an experience. I find myself in a place where I am surrounded by snow. Everywhere I look, there is snow. However, it looks soft, like a field of silk. There is, wait a minute. There's a highway, and it is dark. I'm driving in a sort of a car, but I am almost laying down. I can hardly look on the road, but I see it is almost abandoned, except for one van riding in front of me. It's a light yellow van. I am speeding up, and I am gliding over the snow surface, gliding over this beautiful shiny surface like silk. I almost hit the van, but I just do not touch it with my car. We are passing each other and gliding along, and then there is just this never-ending white landscape in front of me, disappearing in the nothingness, in the distance, in the dark sky. Thank you. That's it.
Okay, I'll share. I've been
Sharon, you're frozen.
that I was there.
You froze again.
Oh,
On my
tell her to start over.
Start over, Sharon, you froze. Must be important. Sharon, you froze again.
okay, I think either I froze or you froze. We were all like frozen in time. Just an awareness that the possibility for an apocalypse is always there, and it has happened in the past. And what I was told is, or as I was writing the book, that there were those from our mission force who came to try and help us stop at the apocalypse, but weren't listened to. And I think we're frozen again.
Yes, you are.
So it's time to gather what we know and stop the apocalypse and bring in those teachers, even if it's by UFO, who usually came after the apocalypse to bring in the magnificent. It's time for us calling the magnificence as we stop the apocalypse. And so that's been on my mind quite regularly. And so it was that kind of information. It really is time to do that. And I'm complete.
So Sharon, I'm sorry, but is there an apocalypse coming? Is that what you've been shown, or?
No, I haven't been shown that, but definitely there are voices out there that says,
Yeah.
it's time, but that doesn't mean it's necessary.
Right. I would absolutely agree with that. I've heard that there is, and that just irks me, because if fear gets a hold of that, mass consciousness starts to believe it, we can almost make it happen. And I choose to not have it happen.
Mhm.
So I'm in your boat, and I love bringing the magnificent in before that has an opportunity to land.
Yep, I think that's what we're going to be called to do. Thanks, love.
Okay, so I will share mine. I didn't have any wonderful experiences like the rest of you. But mine was more about, I guess, all the murders that just keep happening. And where is this, the shootings and just stuff happening day to day across the world. And obviously that would include the war everywhere where those are going on. And so I was informed that it was started like a pattern back when the chakras were changed, the blueprints. So I went back, way back and educated all the women again that ever existed in a human female body, and changed all the, gave permission for all the evolutionary blueprints to be, applied to every single person again. And did the Rianne and like removing all of that, that they were never changed, making it the story that they were never changed, like changing that. Does that make sense? And then collapsing that whole thing down. And that's pretty much what I did. Thank you.
I find it interesting, Tara, that you said you didn't have such magnificence like the rest of us did. And I would dispute that.
Well, maybe just a resting. Yeah, or something beautiful to look at, maybe. Maybe one of these days. Thank you.
I found a different definition for apocalypse. When you were talking, I got that that is what we are supposed to believe, that it's a bad thing, that it's going to be an explosive, violent, disastrous occurrence. But here's another one. Apocalypse is a literary gene in which a supernatural being reveals cosmic mysteries or the future to a human intermediary. That's totally different.
Say that
And-
again. Can you repeat that, please?
Apocalypse is a literary gene in which a supernatural being reveals cosmic mysteries or the future to a human intermediary. That's what I got this morning. An explosion of information that is a new reality of love and light. We live in a state of grace. Our body is a human form, but we're spiritual beings, and our body becomes that spiritual high consciousness. That's what's coming. We've been brainwashed into believing it's a bad thing. Don't do it. That's what I got. I could be wrong, but that's what I got. And that just feels like when you were talking about it, is flip it. And you've got, it's what's really happening.
Well, based on that definition, we have been causing apocalypse ever since we've all started working with Sharon's protocol. I mean, Tara just created an apocalypse going back in time and being that future person in the moment, you know, revealing truth and a new way to see the world. I mean, it's like we've been doing that. We've been creating little baby apocalypses, not baby apocalypses, probably huge ones, but I've never heard of that definition before or anything remotely close to it. And it is all about our time travel, traveling back, being the future, presenting a new way to look at things and changing the trajectory of everything in that moment. That's really crazy and profound. Oh, wow. How fun is this?
Sue, is that your definition that you got from meditation, or is that from something else? You're on mute. You're on mute.
Sharon was talking, it was like, go to Google, go to Google. And so what came up for me was this definition. If I keep searching, I find the gloom and doom. We are doomed. That's not what this is about.
So, Sharon, you mentioned the other day the Ancient Apocalypse series on Netflix, and I saw 2 of them as far as I've gotten. And so this is intriguing, because with that and what you've said is that once there was some big climatic event like a flood or something, then the supernatural beings or cosmic beings came and gave more information about how to rebuild. But yeah, but then how it flows into Sue's, that's really cool.
This is how it flows into Sue's. When we came onto the planet with our mission, our initial mission, the outsiders crippled the DNA, they crippled the chakras, and so the mission started to become contaminated. So as they were writing the book, you know, Mission Remember, they said that, I think was one of the first stories in the book somewhere, and so there's a mission force that are in bodysuits, and they're in bodysuits, and they have the authority to speak their word and choose that the outsiders are gone. They have the authority, but they've been crippled, so they are now going down. And what the book shows is that another mission force came and landed, lived according to their magnificence, to hopefully inspire those in bodysuits to stand up and vote differently. to overthrow the outsiders. They were showing an example. So there was that exactly what Sue talked about, a force coming to say, this is the way, this is the way. But over and over again, the outsiders were too strong. We didn't have the Sophia. And instead of the magnificence being followed, they were voted to go back where we know what we're doing. And then the apocalypse happened, because when you're under outsider devising, you are always going to crash. So the crash happened. The choice was there, but they didn't have the authority, the awareness to make a choice to overthrow the outsiders. And that's what the ancient apocalypse shows, is that before the apocalypse, there was buildings, there were everything to help, but the apocalypse happened. And then after the apocalypse happened, there were, in different myths, 2 were left or 9 were left. And so there were a few left on the planet. That then another group came again to show them how to rebuild, but the outsiders were still there. And so this magnificence that were built, that they're finding all over the world, proved that there was some force that knew amazing things, but those in physical bodysuits didn't grab hold. They didn't have what we have. They don't have the corrected chakras, the return of Sophia, the female mission. And so then it happened again. It will always happen as long as outsiders are there sucking away the energy. It will happen. It's a choice. We are at another choice point. But what's different is that there are some of us, I'd like to get more of us, who understand that we are in a physical body, we are spiritual beings connected, we have authority, and our job is to get rid of all of the outsiders, but also we can call in those magnificent teachers to help us hold, build, so that because we're making a different choice. So that the apocalypse of destruction, which would happen if outsiders are still in charge, parasites destroy. We are at a different place, so that we can absolutely be that definition of apocalypse that Sue spoke of. The options were there at least 2 times they see in old ruins, at least twice. Maybe more. And I know I was told about it. I didn't understand it until I'm really understanding it now. So we really are at an amazing place. Yeah, to really change what the outcome will be. But we don't have to do it alone. That's what I'm excited about. Let's start calling in those ones who moved the temples and this all, everything. Let's call them in now. That's what I'm thinking.
So
Okay, this is a little bit sort of off subject, but I just, for some reason, got the thought to mention this, and Sharon knows about this. I don't know if anyone else in this group does. But I'm wanting other people's input, or maybe thinking you guys could add on to some of the work that I've done that might help. I got an idea to make Tesla seeds, and I put them because one of the journeys we did with Sharon, I saw a lot of darkness in the ground and the trees and plants. So I feel like there's entropy hidden in the earth. So I decided to make Tesla seeds throughout the whole entire planet on every level, covering every square inch, even the trees and anything attached to Gaia. And when anything comes in contact within a mile above ground, or actually I made it 10 miles above the planet now, it's supposed to release the golden song. It's supposed to call in the PTO to remove and, do the whole PTO tag thing and bring the energy to be transmuted. Then we learned about codes the other night with Sharon. So she was talking about how there are people on the planet using codes to make negative things happen or destructive. So I added that to the seeds to destroy or dismantle any codes that are opposing our natural divine good for all, and have that energy also recycled to positive energy. And so I just wanted to let everyone know that that's something I've worked on just this past week. And if there's anything else that anyone thinks that's not covered, because as far as I think it covers people's behaviors, patterns that are floating around, codes, all of those things in a human form and not in a human form above, that even above where airplanes go. So if anyone else can think of anything to add to that, it would be greatly appreciated. I think it could definitely be more powerful and more all encompassing if people have other ideas. That's all.
And we mentioned as we started the circle and mentioned this too with you, Tara, anything that you put together, put it into a document and send it to me. I think what I will do, I know I'll be putting it with the tag curriculum, but I also can link it on the Sacred Ground Collective site. And that way, like what you're learning, Audrey, what anybody's like, what you're putting together, put it into like, okay, this is the process, and then get it to me. And then I think that will be the easiest way for us to access and share what we are learning and calling for, at least at this point. Thanks, Tara.
Deborah, did you want to?
Yeah, just a quick, I apologize to everybody for being late. I was a little bit late and then I kept using the wrong Zoom rooms. So it took me way longer. And so mine was shortened, but it was interesting because my guide met me, and instead of going anywhere and doing anything, she's like, let's just sit here. It's like, we don't have to go anywhere. We don't have to do anything. And the message was, just remember to call on us. It's like sort of Cinda. It's like, you don't have to do, you don't have to be. It's like, just remember to ask for our help. So that was my message. And I've been overly busy lately, so I needed to hear that.
So Sharon, back to the apocalypse thing. So they told me not to braid, and I'm thinking, what does that mean? So not braid, but spiral. And I wonder what I saw was their version of the apocalypse. When the magnificence came down and the apocalypse came, it came to a point, but then it came back up again. So it would go down in an arch, down and then back up, and it would build again. Because as you were talking, I was like, well, how does this relate to mine? And I was like, I think it relates to the magnificence being the spiral of all the colors together and them all working in unison together instead of braiding all the colors, working in unison.
Yeah, sometimes they give us directions. We don't really understand exactly why until later on. But it reminds me of the field that it was woven last December, and I was gone for like a whole day, 2 days, I think. And what we had woven, and they used the word woven, was divine good, an energy field that had not been there before in that fashion. And so the only thing I would say is that you are being shown a field of energy that it needs to have the spiral for whatever reason. It doesn't mean that everything is going to spiral, but this field that you called in, is not to be woven. It is to be spiraled. And you might gain more information about that you could write, and we'll put it on the website to say, okay, here's another field of the amazing intelligence has more to offer than we could even comprehend, right?
Right.
And as long as it's of our light and it's of the agenda of our divine family, agendas of good, we sometimes won't know in the immediacy.
Yeah.
We just, if it matches the outcome, we're a part of the plan, we're a part of the qualities we're holding, then we walk with it. So that's all I would say.
When when a question, Audrey, were you seeing it as like a spiral that gets narrower at the bottom, or just a spiral?
It was wide and it came to the bottom. It didn't actually have a big point, but it came to the bottom and then it came back up again. So it was around and then down and then up.
Okay, because two things that came to mind is that well, one, when you braid things, you have sort of like distinct ropes and it's constricting. Whereas when it's all of the colors are spiraling, well, all the colors make white,
Right.
you know, so, but what I was seeing was more like a funnel or something, and just thinking of like tornadoes and just how it cleanses, you know, it just can take and really, and I know in Ho'oponopono, there's one thing where you could send it down a vortex to clean it and have it all cleansed with, you know, stuff, and whether, and I guess, and so I just saw it cleaning all of the energy and doing whatever it needed to with whatever, you know,
Right.
cosmic compost, PTO, whatever, but I don't know if that helps at all. And
Yeah. Thank you.
you're checking more, but
Yeah, thank you. Hey, everybody, we can unmute and have some chats. We have a couple minutes. We have time. Anybody want to share what's coming up for them out of, you know, anything like that?
Your spiral was, it felt like you were describing what I go through. It's a building and then it explodes with this information, and then the window closes and I'm back being human. And then something builds again and I get this amazing explosion of information. And and the word you used when you first were talking about weaving, I don't remember what you were saying, but the word weaving was really important, because in what I saw this morning is asking for help to the right person is weaving. And we're going to be weaving all this collaboration. It'll be weaving, and it's going to be this amazing tapestry, a field of energy that's like a tapestry of all this love and light. But how we work with healing each other is evolving and it's changing. And it's a shared responsibility. When she gives you something, it's up to you to use it, or for each of us to use it, set the intention that it's not just healing this one thing. It's part of a bigger picture, and it's healing and it's transformation and it's enlightenment. And we're just the support we're going to give each other. Something has shifted. So I'm going to claim it. Because to me, what I felt when you were talking was, I'm claiming it right now, because I don't think you did something different when you reached out and talked to this person, and when this person gave you the information and how the information is working in you and how you spread the information is a different frequency than we've ever used before. We've tried to do this, but it's a different frequency this time. And that's what it feels like to me. And so all these little things we're adding in today, it's all part of the same bigger picture. It's just different pieces of it, and it's just pieces of it. So it's evolving. The whole picture is evolving. And that's why I'm told, I just bought this, for me, an expensive program, and I keep being told, cancel, cancel. It's all changing. You can't lock myself into one mode of It's a 6-month program, and I didn't realize it. And it's like, you don't need this. Things are going to change so fast. So I think I'll listen to it. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. It really makes sense, Sue, what you're sharing. And also because after you shared, Aydrey, about all the colors, and I see this never-ending field of white in front of me, it all came together for me. It was like everything is, integrating in this field of nothingness, of everything. I mean, it's everything and nothing altogether. And we never know where we are going to. So it's not that we go into the dark, we are going into this field of white. And it looks like we are going into the dark, but it's never ending. So there's a never ending story into this field of white, as I saw it. And it's also because you shared about your rainbow colors and everything. And then, I understood what I saw before. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was about integration because braiding keeps the colors separate. The spiral got together and it was all together and integrated as one, which created white. Mhm. Beautiful. Would anybody else like to share anything? It's been an honor. I've missed this. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Aydrey. Thank you, everyone. And
Thank you,
Tony,
Aydrey.
Thank you.
blessings, everyone.
Blessings.
Happy Thanksgivings for
Thanks.
those who do Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Here.
Thing.
Gratitude and gratitude. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.